I am Optimus Prime, and I am on a mission. I was recently contacted by my fellow space reconnaissance correspondent, Cosmos. There's something on the far side of the moon, and I'm determined to find out the truth of this matter. But my standard truck mode isn't capable of moon navigation, so instead, I turned to my human friends from JAXA and Toyota. They've designed a pressurized rover meant for lunar surface exploration, the Lunar Cruiser. I've scanned and adopted this form, and with it, I have the means to traverse through the moon's rough terrain and determine what, if anything, lies beyond the far side of the moon.
Optimus Prime has been many things throughout the years. Aside from his standard truck form, he's been a camera, a watch, a cell phone, a pen, a PlayStation, hell, even a shoe. And this time, Takara is giving us this, Lunar Cruiser Prime. In collaboration with JAXA, the Japan Aviation Exploration Agency, and Toyota, Takara Tomy has designed a new Optimus Prime toy that transforms into JAXA and Toyota's own concept Lunar Cruiser. Through my understanding, this toy is meant to be sold at mass retail at a later date, but through a crowdfunding program, Japanese residents could get him earlier, as well as pledge for certain tiers to get bonus stuff, like a personal thank you message from Tissho Genda, the iconic Japanese voice actor for Optimus Prime. So, how did I manage to get this bad boy early? Because I live in Japan now. And now that I do, hello folks, my name is LinkFrostimus, and let's take a look at Takara Tomy no Getsumen Tansa Soushirekan, Lunar Cruiser Prime.
Earth Command, this is Lunar Cruiser Prime. I've touched down on the moon's surface. Things are rolling smoothly. And the moon, it's so peaceful here.
I don't think I've seen a vehicle mode that's as cool, compact, and cute quite like this. Needless to say, the Lunar Cruiser mode is awesome. The piercing white colors of the body has an immaculate look and feel to it. And combine that with the orange windows, whoo, now let me tell you, this thing is cool. And even though it was primarily white, Takara didn't hold back with the detail. The sculpt is brilliant, it's so precise, it's just great to look at. And the details, oh man, don't think I forgot about this. The details really bring this guy to life. We got the Toyota logo printed in a shiny silver, the JAXA logo in a beautiful shade of blue, and of course, you gotta have a vehicle built by the Japanese government flex their flag. On both sides too. And the other details are highlighted by the breaks of color. I already talked about how cool the orange windows are, but did I tell you about the hidden matrix? Or the shiny black sunroof? And the lights, and the Toyota logo, and the winch? This little dude may be basic at first glance, but there's a lot of hidden details to make things stand out. So yeah, pretty cool. I kinda love this thing. But wait, there's more. The wheels, man, look how crazy they look. They got 2 shades of silver and cool shiny housing. And these are the best wheels in a Transformer I've rolled in a long ass time. Ooh, look how smooth. The Cruiser has a bit more gadgets to him as well, like the antennas. We got some on the front, one on the back, and this radar dish. You can move it around too. There's even this cool tube thing on the left side of the vehicle. What's it for? I don't fucking know, but it looks cool. Now, don't think Takara slept out on the back. This rear is looking pretty nice, with red lights, a meticulously crafted bumper, and these, like, exhaust ports. I don't know what exactly they are, but they rock. This thing, man, it's great. So much detail, so much personality to such a small vehicle. This is such a great representation of the concept Lunar Cruiser. Takara really did their homework to deliver on this guy. And his added functionality, if you open up his trunk, first of all, you see hidden detail. I mean, come on, man, these madmen flexing their craft like this? Wait, what was I here again? Oh yeah. This is where you store the solar panel. Take it out, fold it out, and you plug it on top of the tube. The panel itself looks really nice with a reflective surface, but when you look at it from the other side, it's kinda ugly, not gonna lie. It just makes one side of the Cruiser look better while the other side looks worse. But it's a thing you can do, and you can store it away too. That's all for accessories though. Really basic, but Prime doesn't need it when he's this solid and this awesome. Really, the only thing I would dock against this guy is that the painted white of the front doesn't match up with the white plastic. Man, we are still into this problem and Takara still can't do a definitive fix. It's a little noticeable. And this is a more exclusive release as opposed to the mainline, so I will give them shit for this. Also, I'm not going to complain about how cool the Matrix detail is, but I kind of think it should be hidden away in this mode so at least it looks like astronauts can drive this thing. And the last thing is that, at least on my copy, these antennas are bent. It came out of the box like this. The good thing is that they were smart enough to make the plastic rubbery, but it doesn't fix the warped look. Now, I'm done bitching because I still really do love this Lunar Cruiser vehicle mode. It's a wonderful representation of all the hard work JAXA and Toyota did when designing this. It's neat. How can you not love it? And it may look a little boring to some, but this has the added benefit of being a Transformer, and not just any Transformer, Optimus Prime. So let's get this bad boy into his robot mode and see how he looks.
Earth Command, I've discovered some recent activity on the moon that renders the surface beyond this point too rough to drive on. I will have to proceed on foot. Lunar Cruiser Prime, transform!
this is a cool robot mode. Beautiful first impressions right off the bat. His proportions are looking great. That matrix is looking clean. And that head sculpt, man, Takara just doesn't miss. Just another beautiful representation of the Optimus we know and love. All his essential details are there, but this time his head is a little longer. And you know what? It looks great. It really complements the length of his limbs too. Optimus is looking a little skinny, but he's got some added length. Those long, sexy legs. And the details too, man. Look at that. They still managed to keep his grill abs and those arrow designs on his arms. But the legs, bro. These legs have some of the most intricate and unique looking sculpts I've ever seen. Aside from his head and chest, the look and sculpt of the legs is possibly my favorite part of the whole figure. And the best part is that Takara painted them with a shiny coat of paint. So when you get the light to bounce off of it, it makes the details really pop. What a stunner, man. And one thing I really like is that the side tube on the vehicle folds to create this, which looks like Prime's take on Megatron's fusion cannon. I really dig it. But now, here's the part where I'm gonna bitch and complain. Now, a lot of Optimus collab toys managed to have him transform into objects that shared his color palette. So robot or alt mode, he looked like you'd expect Prime to. Now, as beautiful as the pearly white of the JAXA Lunar Cruiser is, and as great as it looks on him in robot mode, it just makes the true Optimus Prime bits look kinda jarring. Like, let's be real here. The white is beautiful, and the red and blue coming out of nowhere wouldn't be as daunting if Takara decided to use brighter colors. The classic Prime color scheme of red, blue, and yellow looks so muted, especially contrasted with the bright white. This has led to a lot of discussion to the fact that maybe a different character would have been a better fit than Optimus Prime, like Ultra Magnus. His albino Prime form would honestly work perfectly for this vehicle, but then again, he is an Optimus Prime. And at the same time, I gotta admit, I do like the breaks in color compared to the white. I just wish they were brighter. I still think he looks cool. Amazing, in fact. The details, sculpt, and proportions provide a fresh new take on Optimus. But there are other things I don't like. Now look, I like some of the side leg tires. What the fuck is this leg backpack? This is Masterpiece Bumblebee 2.0 levels of messy. It looks incomplete, it ruins the leg silhouette, and worst of all, the connection joint isn't the best. Gonna spoil the articulation here for a bit. Look at this mechanism that's revealed as you bend the knee. Beautiful. But more times than not, this tiny tab will undo itself. And that's annoying. And one more thing, I think what makes a Transformers design great is how its vehicle mode parts are integrated into the robot mode in a way that makes sense. Let's take Optimus Prime for example. The truck windows and grille become his pecs and abs, the arms beautifully slot into his sides to become the sides of the truck, and his legs act as a natural truck bed. It's perfect. You can't beat Optimus Prime. But with this toy, I would say that it doesn't do the best job of trying to integrate the vehicle mode parts into the robot body, which is why you have the panels on his arms, the leg backpacks, and the actual backpack. There are some things it did right, like again, the front of the cruiser being his pecs and the wheels being on the sides of his legs, a staple in Optimus designs. But again, I think Takara could have done better. Still though, I do really like Lunar Cruiser Prime. I even dig the backpack. It's compact and folds neatly into him, and he's on an expedition, so what more of an essential tool do you need than a backpack? He even looks great from all angles with this thing. So overall, despite my gripes, I do like Lunar Cruiser Prime's robot mode. I do think that a lot of my issues stems from the fact that it tries to add details on top of Prime's iconic details instead of integrating it naturally into his body, but then again, this is Optimus Prime we're talking about. When has he ever not looked cool? Well, maybe if you gave him these stupid ass accessories. Calling these things dumb is an insult, I'll admit, but in all honesty, they're more lame than anything. First you got the antenna. It stays on his shoulder, but you can remove it. Huh, pseudo smokestacks, awesome. There's not much to do with it, I just leave it in there. His last accessory is the solar panel. Looks just as good as it did in vehicle mode, and there's a few things you can do with it. There's a handle on the back that you can plug in Prime's hand to make him hold it like a shield. And as a shield, this thing does look pretty dumb, but I can't deny Optimus looks cool wielding it. Another thing you can do is you can plug it into the other smokestack to get it in an arm-mounted position, a la Deathsaurus. And this is the best look with the solar panel. And the last thing you can do is actually store it away on his back. If you don't want it out, you can put it away like this. And it's a natural looking storage, so I dig it. But that's it. No more accessories. I wouldn't say he really needs it since he's on an expedition, but still, what's Optimus without his iconic ion blaster? If you have a spare one from another figure, I'm sure you can get him to wield it. His hands look compatible. But for now, that's it. But he doesn't need it. Look at him. Look how tranquil he is. Calm, relaxed, floating in space without a worry in his mind. Wait a second. So there's another version of this guy that costs more than twice as much as him by himself? What the fuck? That comes with a stand. Thankfully, when I backed this on the crowdfunding site, I didn't have to pay nearly as much. And here it is. A stand. This is actually a standard Masterpiece power base and arm. The only difference being the color and the custom branding that says Lunar Cruiser Prime. And the best part is no adapter is needed. Just plug it in his booty hole. And I really like this. The moon has low gravity, so the stand really allows you to pose him in floaty positions. Look at how much fun he's having. But you know what the best part is? You don't need the stand to get him into some great poses. As a reference point, he has the exact same articulation as Earthrise Prime, so you know he can cook when it comes to poses. Ball jointed head, arms can rotate, move out, bicep swivel, over 90-degree elbow bend, awesome. Wrist swivel and hinged fingers, yeah, let's go. Waist swivel, beautiful front kick and splits, but sadly very limited backwards leg movement. Why? Thigh swivel, a gnarly knee bend, but if you go beyond 90 degrees, that tab I mentioned earlier will come undone. And finally, crazy ass ankle tilts and toe bends. Look at this guy, just think of all the possibilities. And the best part is how his proportions complement his posability. Those long legs allow for some really dynamic posing action, including kneeling, and his overall proportions just have this natural superpower of making any standing pose look all the more dynamic. This is amazing. He's really fun to pose too, except the tabs on the back of his knees. Everything else is pretty solid. The joints feel great and nothing is loose. And as for his height, it's estimated that he's Voyager height, but I'm pretty sure he's taller. I don't have anything to compare him to, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Great proportions, great articulation, great feel. This guy feels like the iconic leader of the Autobots. He would look great commanding his own space exploration unit with his fellow bots like Cosmos, Skylynx, and Omega Supreme. But even by himself, he's just so cool. But there's also something so peaceful and heartwarming about him. So despite my gripes, this is a great robot mode. The look and feel is superb, and these poses, man, I'm having a ton of fun with this guy. There could have been better engineering, especially with this guy's price point, but you know what? I don't think there's such thing as a bad Optimus Prime toy. Safe to say then that Lunar Cruiser Prime is good. Another solid addition to the lineup of the Transformers franchise's golden child. I really dig Lunar Cruiser Prime. The vehicle mode is out of this world, literally, cause it's on the moon. And the robot mode is awesome in its own way. It has all the building blocks for a great Optimus Prime toy. So then, why is it just a good rating? Well, for its price, I think it could have been way better. It also should have been engineered better to look cleaner in robot mode. Because with how he stands, you're paying a Commander class price point for what is essentially a novelty Voyager class figure at best. And that's without the stand. If you really want the stand, the price approaches HasLab territory, which at that point I would say is straight up not worth it. It's a cool collaboration that you definitely shouldn't go that far to get him. I like him. He's a cool Optimus that transforms into a unique vehicle mode. We don't usually get collabs like this, so seeing him transform into a licensed lunar rover is awesome. If you are a Prime completionist, I highly recommend it. But with the price and the novelty, it's totally fine to skip out on it. But why did I get him? Well, now that I'm living in Japan on my own, I wanted to start a small collection of Transformers. This is my chance to restart, and what better way to do it than with an Optimus Prime collection? And I'm proud to say that this guy is the very first member of that group.
Earth Command, this is Lunar Cruiser Prime. I've reached the far side of the moon. Now, onward to the unknown. If I discover anything, I will radio back. Cosmos, be on standby. Just in case.